by being here, you're giving it, but in the next, what, 76 up, 78 hours, something like that, it's coming down to the wire, and Ferial needs you like nobody's ever needed you before. So, do everything you can for this wonderful, wonderful woman, Ferial Masry.
Thank you very much, and I really appreciate all of you, especially the Lafayette Camarillo Club. I'm fond of all of you, and appreciate you standing, with me for 5 years through the good and bad, and I really appreciate that, and all the people in Ventura County. And I want to thank Bob and Julia and John and everybody came here, and of course Karen, and I'm going to talk about that later on. When Bob asked me, actually when I get the call to run, I remember that day, and I was laughing, and my husband told me, "Why are you laughing?" I said, they asked me to run for state assembly. He said, "Do you know what you're going to do?" I said, "No." "I'm going to learn." So I say, since when did I, involved in anything? I knew what I'm going to do. I always learn later on. So I knew, and you say, "Oh boy." So, and I knew it's going to be big, and I knew it's going to be important thing to do. And actually, one of the things when I started running, I was appalled, especially at that time, I was teaching in Principle of American Democracy. And I was teaching the kids, and this is the class I love, teaching about government and about democracy, especially where I came from. And, as a little girl, I was discriminated against as a female. My mother had to send me out because no education. And I went to school in Cairo, an American school. And here I am here in America, and teaching about American democracy. And I was so excited, and I want to be excited about it and to believe in their vote. So when I start running, then I start realizing, because when you teach about government, teach about federal government, you don't know anything about local government. And so it was, for me, it's a great opportunity to learn about, local government. So when I started teaching, and then I was appalled, and I was really saddened to see how people felt hopeless in this district. They were scared of the Strickland. And the Strickland, they are like manipulating this area, and I see the two of them, they're really useless. They're not really they have no experience, and how they can intimidate a middle class, well-educated district. This I could not understand. And I say, I'm not going to accept that. So by learning about it and working, and I remember about the issues, and I still, the truth, I didn't know what I was supposed to say, because I asked everybody what to say. They say, I don't know, just say. So I kept telling my stories. And I know some people get fed up with my story, because I didn't do anything else yet. I'm trying to figure out what to say, which one I'm going to. I know some issues, but I could not articulate them because it's different. I came from a place, and I never learned, run or participate in any political campaign, so I have no idea. But I was trying to learn in the same time. So I start running, and I decide that the best thing to do is really fight for democracy. One of the things, and I really, that's one, when I was writing, I thought a lot of people tell me that you can't do it, and don't tell me ever in your life I cannot do anything. Because I will go all the way to do it. And everybody knows that about me. I don't give up. So I really start thinking about people should really take pride in having democracy in this country. And for me, it was becoming a passion thing, because how I'm going to go to my kids and teach them about democracy while grown up making mockery of it, while it's been sold to the highest bidder, where is the corruption, where a husband gives his wife without even appealing. It's not only Democrats you're complaining. Republican women were complaining to me. They invited her, she never came, and she never talked to them. So I was really appalled, and I decided to fight for that. So that's one of the things, it became a passion. And I tell you, I went to so many Republican gatherings. And I never forget the first time I was there in the Simi Valley, and I was talking there. They want to know about my story, and I went there and I started talking. And I felt, I saw them there saluting the flag and talking about the truth, and I was sitting there, oh my God, here I'm in Simi Valley, a woman from Saudi Arabia, a Muslim, an Arab, Democrat, and and then I stood there and I told my story, and then I talk about democracy, and I tell you, they were listening, and I remember this woman came to me and she said, I feel so ashamed of myself, because we thought democracy and our liberty and freedom is symbolizing the flag and the troops. And now I see something else. Because I really talk to them about what does it mean and how they're fortunate and how I see it. So I've been talking to a lot of Republicans and a lot of Rotary clubs, and that's really was so, it was, something, a mission to really get people to be energized about democracy and not to give up, because I can't accept it. I never give up in a society which oppressed me as a female, oppressed me as politically oppressed me. I have no place there, and I fought. I fought all my life. So when I come here to America and I see people giving up, that's unacceptable to me, and especially as a teacher. So that's one of the things I'm really passionate about. The second thing is, and the most important, is education. I feel really sad every day I go to my classroom and I see kids we want wasted, because our education system, unfortunately, built for the 20th century. It's not moving to the 21st century. Graduating kids who are failing, they end in prison, cost us a lot of money, and we spend as a country, this is ridiculous, as a country, we spend more incarcerating our kids than educate them. This is unacceptable. I haven't heard about any society in the world doing that except here.
Yeah.
And I feel like we are failing miserably in educating our workforce for the 20th century. I see a lot of people talking about green industry and green and innovation, and nobody talking about one of the factors of production, which is labor. You cannot do that. You cannot move California until you educate your labor force. And I saw that. I saw that, when with the computer thing. We are importing technicians. We're importing computer people from India, from China, for a third world country. We drain them from their skills to bring them here. Nurses from Philippines and other countries. And I look at my kids I'm teaching there and I say, what job they having? What future they gonna have? So this is not acceptable, and that's one of the reasons I am really determined that we have to change our education in high school. We have to graduate our kids from high school with a skill. They can work and they be the best workforce, because otherwise we cannot stop them from going to prison. Poverty, drugs, and prison. That's the only one. California is going to spend $20 billion in prisons, the highest and the most expensive project in the history of the world, not just the country, on prisons, not in higher education. That's, to me, it's really sad, and I cannot accept that. So I feel like we have to reform our education system and really, get our kids to graduate from high school with a skill, because a lot of them, they're not going to college, and it's too expensive even to go to college, and a lot of them come out with a lot of debt, and a lot of parents can't afford it. And our kids, even now in India and China, they are reducing computer for us, which the kids don't have to read, push buttons. That's really sad to do so. So that's one of the things I'm really gonna work for, and that's one of the things keep motivating me, that I should not give up and keep going, because I cannot go every day and see the same misery in my classroom. I can't, and we have to really strengthen, public education, not to make it easy. So I want to, I thank you for your support, and I want to introduce I want to introduce Ken, and I want to thank her because of her vision and leadership and really helping us here. And it is really an honor for us to have her here. This is the first time we have a speaker coming to our district, and we really appreciate it. And I know her when you're first, I think, I met you one day, you were speaking, and everybody admired her. She's a great leader, and I really appreciate it. And I want to give her my book. It calls was running for all the right reasons, because that's what Peter Jennings called me when he chose me as the person of the week. And also we chose a Saudi-born woman pursuit of democracy. And actually it is funny because pursuit in democracy, not in the Middle East, pursuit in democracy here. I'm fighting for democracy here in this country. Because I think we need it.